All right, and we're starting. Hey, Rod, good to see you. How's it going?
It's going pretty good today, Alan. How about yourself?
Fantastic. I see you two beautiful girls in that picture right there, and I know you got a third daughter. She's older than those two,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. She's doing excellent in school. She's a big sponge. She's a big sponge as well. She watches everything I do, and she holds me accountable.
How old is your oldest daughter?
She's 10. She'll be 11 on July the 9th.
Right, and how old are these two right here? I see.
We have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Oh man, oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So we're going to get into that later. Like, I've been on a run lately of interviewing young father entrepreneurs, right, and how they somehow balance fatherhood and husbandhood, with being an entrepreneur. And we're going to get into that because you do it. And then the other thing I just wanted to, off the top, how we met. How we met. So you and we're going to get into this too. You've got a parking business, and you've had it for many years that you own and operate. You're a business owner. You have multiple businesses that you own, which I can't wait to talk more about. But we met through parking and valet business that you have, and we got to chatting, and then I learned about your professional boxing that you were doing on the side. So you were owner operator of a parking valet company, and then you were also you were doing professional boxing on the side, and you were training. So we got into that, and but you're like retired. You retired early.
Yeah, I retired early, man. Actually, I got in late and I retired early.
I like it, but I understand you retired undefeated.
Yeah, I retired undefeated. That's a way to go out.
Right? I like that. But anyway, I always enjoyed chatting with you about that. And then the more I talked to you, Rod, the more I was like blown away with all these different businesses, a handful of businesses that you own and operate, and then a couple in the past that you also owned and operated, in whether there's like the Super Shuttle business that you had to kind of wind down because of the pandemic and so forth. But we're going to get into all that stuff.
Yes.
But it's a real honor to have you on this podcast.
My pleasure, Alan.
We got a lot to cover, man. All right, so I'm going to throw up this opening slide that just kind of gets it started. I have a tradition where I do this just to throw my guest off a little bit and to get it started. And I've got this opening question. All right, you ready for this? So Rod, what's the difference between good debt and bad debt? And the reason this comes up is because you and I had a long conversation about it, and you actually educated me on this quite a bit. So break it down for us.
All right. Well, the conversation was about debt. We were talking about paying off debt and stuff, And I was saying that basically debt is okay as long as it's good debt compared to bad debt. Good debt is more or less if you purchase a house and so forth. So if you purchase a house, the house can be a liability. But if you purchase a house and you use it as a rental property to pay for the mortgage, now that's good debt. But as far as if you purchase a house just for you to live in, it can be a liability. But the thing that you want to do is you want to have assets to pay for your liabilities, and you always want to have your assets outnumbering your liabilities.
Give me some example. What are some assets that you could have to outnumber that?
Some assets that you can have. For example, what I did was I franchised a shuttle service and stuff to bring in money from there. And actually, I own a piece of property, and I just got it renovated. So now, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna use that. Of course, I had to spend money on it, which basically put me into a little debt. But it's good debt because that money's gonna come back, and basically the house paid for. So it's gonna be continuous money coming in to where basically that debt gonna turn into the positive, and basically gonna be positive for here on out for the rest of my lives, and I'll be able to pass it on to my kids as well.
So you coach people on this stuff, right? As a financial specialist, right?
Yes. Reason why I want to coach people, and I just don't want to provide a service and just want people to come back. I want to provide a service and help educate people so they can be able to teach their kids and not fall into the same things that we fell in, or not having to go through the financial situations that some people run into, not having the knowledge of the financial system and stuff. So when people come to me, it's not about money and stuff. Of course, I want to get paid for my services, but at the same time, I'm gonna give them more in value than any kind of money that they can pay me.
Right. And you mentioned you used an example of a car with me too when we talked about like just the idea of a car can just be,
Oh yeah, yeah,
a car
definitely.
payment, or it can be a business asset.
Exactly, exactly. And with that, because I had a cousin of mine who wants to get another vehicle, and I'm like, look, if you buy another vehicle, you need to make money off that, vehicle. Even if you do a lawn service, pressure washing, even if you do Grubhub, some along those lines and stuff like that. And of course, if you have a corporation, you can actually put that car up on a corporation, so you can start doing write offs and so forth.
Yeah.
So always need to, not always, but you just want to be in position to where you can maximize anything that you do.
Right. So business. So you somewhere along the line you learned about this thing about business ownership and all the benefits, didn't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. You know,
Right.
I'm looking forward to getting a trust in the future and stuff, and setting that up for the kids and the family and stuff. Because hey, you got to learn the system and use it.
So you keep going. You keep going. Every time you get to a level financially, you're looking for that next level every time.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I don't ever want to settle and stuff, and of course we always want to see our kids do great. We can always teach our kids great things and stuff like that, But at the same time, we can set them up and put them in position, because we definitely don't want them to fall into the bad debt system, which is very hard to get out of. Easy to get into, but very hard to get out of. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
just school, the schools alone. I know kids who I went to school with. I graduated before them and stuff. Far as like college wise, and they probably like 80,000 worth of debt and still don't even have a degree and stuff. So for that example, that's what I use for bad debt, and trying to avoid my kids taking the same path. Even though I didn't take that path, I did go to college and stuff. But when I graduated, I only had like $2,600 in loans rather than 40,000.
Not 26,000. No, not 26,000. 2,600.
2,600. You heard me right. $2,620. All I had, because while I was in school, I still had that work mentality as far as what I had to work to get things, instead of just trying to take something for free or just trying to get it because it's available, and then just live worry free. I'd rather go out and get it, so I won't be in debt, so I won't be in a bunch of bad debt, so I can be able to live after I graduate.
Yeah. I think that's great. By the way, you see how I put you, I listed underneath your name here, I said husband, father, entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
I almost would just say business owner, because that's even a more specific way. But then underneath that, I said physical, mental, and financial health advocate, right?
Yes.
And one of your businesses, that another one of the companies that you own is through your personal training. So it's interesting. You've had businesses where you had employees, which
Yeah.
were your parking and your shuttle business that you owned, and then you've also now, over the last year or so, you opened your own personal training, and I think you're an employee of one right now. But talk about that difference between those two types of businesses.
The difference between two types of businesses is that having people working for you is great, but at the same time, I always try to motivate them to do more, and not settle. But it's like having people work for you. Sometimes it's like you paying an adult to babysit them at times.
Right, right.
But then you meet some people that's great. They're great. They're good at you ask them to do stuff. They're great at it, and basically they're focused. They get what they need to get done, and basically they go home and stuff. But even with that being said, once again, that I always try to motivate them to try to do more, and basically show them like, look, I've been in that position before too and stuff. You can do this. You can do this. Find your niche. Find something that you love. If you have any questions, I'm here for you and stuff. So it can definitely be a challenge having people work for you. Now it seems like you find more bad apples than good apples, but at the same time, you still got to keep on. You still got to still go out to that tree and pick.
And
And
and one of you were able, with your parking valet company, that you were able to ultimately turn that over to one of the people that you groomed along, right? It allowed you to open up new doors and start new things.
Yeah. So what I did was I started using my profits I was making from that business and stuff to actually franchise Super Shuttle and basically franchise my fitness business and stuff. And I came out with a few things for my fitness business as well. But yeah, so basically I just basically just sold it off and just turned everything over and just proceeded forward, you know, and you know it's turnkey.
That's it, and that's the goal, and that's what I even that's I talk about it in my book a lot. You know, just this idea, the third level of being able to have a business be able to run without you, which ultimately gives you the option to do other things or sell the company or pursue other interests and generate and have that thing generate cash flow for you and your family. But make no mistake, you it took years and years to build it up to the point that you could do that, and you had to be willing to delegate and let other people do things in the business. That did you ever struggle with that?
Yes, I did, because it's like when you deal with so many irresponsible people and stuff. Because at
Yeah.
time, of course, we got college students who wasn't working a lot and stuff, but at the same time, they needed money and stuff, you know. But at the same, they didn't have a lot of responsibility, so they'll commit to coming in and not show up and stuff. So it's kind of hard not to try to be there and wait for them to get there when I could have been at home spending more time with my family and stuff, you know. I had to be there to make sure they got there first, and then be able to drive through traffic to get back home, make sure everything's fine, and having to call back and check up on them and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely challenging to basically have somebody working for you and dealing with something in like a high turnover field.
So were you just kind of on cloud nine when you got your personal training business going? Like you couldn't believe like how much easier it was to manage yourself and not manage other people?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. It's a lot easier to manage yourself and stuff, but it's still a lot of responsibility. Of course, a lot of responsibility definitely gonna come with it, and especially when you're starting off and stuff. You know, just like any entrepreneur or anybody who actually started a business from scratch, without much and stuff. The first thing they're gonna tell you is like, look, you know, you don't know how much you're gonna make. You don't know where it's gonna come from and stuff. But you gotta be dedicated. You gotta be dedicated. You gotta be disciplined to go after it.
Yeah. Hey, I want to take a quick break and talk about my sponsor briefly here for the episode. Okay.
Yes.
This is Secure Startup. So Secure Startup is a cloud-based tool to help startup founders work with investors and exchange those documents, those important documents between startup founders and investors, and all the back and forth that goes into those documents from purchase agreements and term sheets and operating agreements and the signatures involved and the confidentiality involved. And this is a site and a product that's really just focused on that niche and that need. And so Secure Startup provides that. And it's believe it or not, there's not enough tools out there that do that well. And so that's what Secure Startup does, and they're doing a good service for founders and investors. They both rave on both sides because it's the pain in the butt part of the business. If you're fortunate enough to get investment or get a yes out of an investor, the last thing you want to do is stumble over the paperwork. Okay, right? The last thing you want to do is stumble over the paperwork, and that's what Secure Startup helps you do. All right, so Rod, so Fort Myers, Florida.
Yes.
What was it like growing up in Fort Myers, Florida?
Fort Myers, Florida. It was rough. It was rough.
Okay.
Not rough far as I'm not even gonna say it was rough, because basically once you raise up in a certain place in a certain area and
You get
stuff,
used to it.
that's all you know. That's all you know. It's not even getting used to it. Like you brought up there, you never know anything different, because basically that's all you know and stuff. You know, even though I used to travel, used to go out of town and stuff like that, but at the same time, you know, you're in the house most of the time, but then you come back to that same environment and stuff. So I had a fun childhood. Played football, me and my buddies and stuff. We used to always enjoy each other and stuff. And like I said, I didn't really notice a difference until like my freshman year in college. about, you know, the how it was compared to other places.
So let's be real about. So you grew up. Sounds like you grew up in a pretty tough. I mean, you said it was tough, but it sounds like it was a tough neighborhood,
Oh yeah,
and could and it was and could have and was rough in spots. And so let's talk about that, because again, you know why you're on the show, and that's why every entrepreneur's on the show. Is I'm trying to make sure we hold up stories so that people out there who are dealing with whatever they're dealing with, they can see an example. And so the neighborhood you grew up with, and might be just like a neighborhood that somebody's watching this interview is
yes,
in today, and
yes.
say, wait a minute, let me hear how Rod dealt with it and how he got to the next level.
All right, so the street I lived on, for you to see drug deals and stuff, it wasn't anything out of the normal. And I mean, I'm not talking about like once a day or twice a day. If you see it like 20 times a day, it was still normal and stuff,
Right.
you know. Um,
Right.
so so just being able to see that, but then you see the other end of it too. You see people going to jail, people getting time and stuff. So as a kid, um, I looked at it and stuff, and seeing the guys getting the girls, having the fancy cars and stuff, and but then it was like, is it worth it? Is it worth it for the amount of time that you get for that and stuff? So back even then, I was like, do the math on it. No,
Yeah.
that was my whole ideal of it. Do the math on it. Okay, you can do this. You can um, sell drugs, get this amount of money and stuff, you know. But then then you get locked up. But then you got to do this amount of time. So you do the math on it. It's like you rather have your freedom rather than being behind bars and stuff, because you can make just as much amount of money.
Yeah. So like short-term gains for giving up long-term opportunity.
Exactly, exactly. Not only just long-term opportunity, but you know, your freedom.
Yeah. 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 So you were looking at things pretty analytically, like almost like you were already starting to look at life like a young, like a business person early.
Oh yeah, yeah, because it was hitting close to home. It was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like the Fed's been inside my house before. You know,
Right.
because one of my brothers, he was caught up in the game and stuff, you know. So
Yeah.
it was firsthand. It was firsthand. It wasn't like it was something I seen from a distance and stuff. It's something
Yeah.
I seen right in front of me. A lot of the guys who got locked up and went to federal prison, I looked up to and stuff, you know.
So you said something in your brain. You said this doesn't add up, and you must have made a decision at some point. You know, you wanted to take things in a different direction. You said you got into a little bit of trouble, but when we talked last time, but you steered clear of the
Oh yeah, yeah,
being
yeah,
serious.
yeah, yeah. I didn't want to be a statistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I'm gonna say I had fun. I got like a little bit of trouble and stuff, but nothing serious to,
Yeah.
to do any time over or anything.
Yeah, and you said your dad was a business owner, and you had the candy shop and with what he's doing, and so you had some good. Sounds like you had a few good examples. Talk about those good examples that you had in your life early.
My good example was when I'm gonna say my father. My father, basically he's taken to the store, buy his stuff that he used to have for his little candy store and stuff. And when he didn't feel like getting up because he's watching TV and stuff, of course we ran it for him and stuff like that. And just being able to just operate and just seeing just seeing just how to operate, and just knowing what to do. Just a little, and it's a little small things to where you like, man, I can do more than this,
Yeah,
I can do more than this. I can do it on a bigger scale. I can do something different and stuff, So just having something just as small, because like I was saying earlier, that like our kids are sponges and stuff. So I picked up on that and stuff, and then I'm like, look, I can do this as well, So
So would you put your dad? Would you put your dad like number one on the list that kind of gave you the example or gave you the belief that you could do more?
oh yeah, 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 definitely, because growing up in my neighborhood, a lot of fathers wasn't in the home and stuff, and I was fortunate enough to have my father in my home, always there for me and stuff, because I can tell the difference between me growing up and other kids not growing up and stuff like that, and I really appreciated that. So yeah, I would say he'll be he's my number one like motivation as far as not being afraid to be an entrepreneur and stuff,
Yeah.
because he did it on like kind of like a pullback scale, but I'm the type. I wasn't there by then.
You had to do the next level.
Yeah.
And every dad or parent wants that, right? For their kids is to take it further than they did. You know?
Yes.
And so how did you end up at University of South Florida? Because you said something about California. I don't think I caught it when we talked about it. Somehow you were there and you came back.
Up at University of South Florida. So what happened was actually my freshman year in college, because like my test scores wasn't that good, because I was the first kid in my family to go to college and stuff, you know. So I went to so it was different. So I didn't have no guidance about somebody telling me, hey, take the SATs, take the HSCT, and I didn't even take none of the major tests in high school until like halfway through my senior year, because I didn't have any guidance and anything and stuff. And of course, my mom, she didn't know anything about it. My dad didn't know anything about it and stuff. And it wasn't a lot of people around to help me and stuff. So now, actually, I'm able to help others and sharing the information with them.
You missed the deadline, missed the schedule.
Missed the deadline. I didn't test good. I didn't test.
And
good.
then you didn't even get a chance to prepare a test, because sometimes you got to practice these things. Just, you didn't have none of that.
Prep for anything. I just went in there and just went in there raw and just took it and stuff, and just try to run with it. But so I ended up getting accepted to a private school in Missouri and stuff. So that's how I had my $2,600 in loans, because they gave me some scholarship money and basically not a full ride, but for the cover majority of my things, and I just had to pay like I say just a little odd end things. So so I went there, and then
Missouri.
Yeah, misery. I like joke to say misery and stuff. So yeah,
for a Florida kid, that's not it's not relatable.
Exactly, and that's what I was saying earlier when I was saying, like, once I got outside my neighborhood, I kind of noticed that my neighborhood was different from other places.
Right.
When I got there, it was very different and stuff, So so actually, I traveled a lot during my college years and stuff, because I had a family member who used to always tell me stories. Oh, I could have did this, or I should have did this, and stuff like that. So my opportunity was, I don't want to be that person saying I wish I would have, I wish I could have and stuff. So actually, what I did was, so I took the leap of faith. I went to Missouri, and I couldn't take it. It started mentally kind of like messing with me and stuff. So actually, I went back home to Fort Myers for a semester. And the thing was, that was one of the most scariest things, because I know a lot of kids who go off to school and they come back home and they end up staying home and never. That's right. Never going anywhere else and stuff.
That's right. So actually, step in the wrong direction usually.
Yeah, definitely. So I made a pledge to myself to, like, look, I will not be like anybody else and stuff, who, I'm talking about these friends, family, and so forth, who basically went off and came back and never left again. So I stayed home for a semester, and then after that, basically I went out to Bakersfield, California. So I was playing football out there at a junior college out there, and then after I finished up my 2 years there, they would make me transfer to University of South Florida. So when I got University of South Florida, that was it.
That's it. Man, so that was just far enough away from home, but still home.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because I was back in Florida, because being out of California, you're so far away. When little things need to be done and stuff, you're just not hopping on a plane, just coming all the way back here and stuff,
Well, you must have impressed a lot of friends and family, though, honestly. Because I come from a rural small town. I was the first to go to college, and not only my family, but even my high school, hardly anybody went, just being in a rural town. But you must impress a lot of people to be able to pull off a gig in Missouri or even California. People must have been like, big shot back at, like, did you get a lot of that big shot kind of comments from friends and stuff?
Yeah, man. Even some of the guys, like I say, I was brought up in a neighborhood that basically, it was rough and everything. So basically, they called me the schoolboy.
You schoolboy.
Look at the schoolboy and stuff. The
schoolboy.
The rough guys, the younger rough guys used to say, call me schoolboy. All the older rough guys, they knew that basically, they appreciated what I was doing. Even like one of my brothers, even though he sold drugs and everything, but he told me don't take the path that he's taking and stuff. He always wanted to see me do better and stuff. So so he was like, hey, what I'm saying, he motivated me and pushed me as well to always go out and do things.
That's pretty powerful right there. When that message right there, that your brother said that to you, and that, meant it, like, right. So you were kind of, your job was to carry the flag and go do bigger, better things, right?
Yep, carry the flag and go do better things and stuff. So so after I left California, it was like, here, Should I go to Texas or should I get closer to home and stuff? So after being in Missouri for a while, being in California, being like that's so far away from home and stuff. So that's the reason I chose USF to get closer to home. It was either USF or UCF for me to transfer to get closer to home.
UCF.
I just
what was you thinking?
I need to get back to Florida.
What were you thinking, UCF?
They had to get back to Florida and stuff, man. But USF made the cut and stuff, you know. So yeah. So.
All right. So what did you study at University of South Florida?
So basically, I have and actually not only did I go, I actually got a bachelor's of science in criminology. So I studied the study of criminal.
So I know what happened. I know the next piece of the story because I know you ended up not pursuing that after graduation. But what was your initial thought with criminology? What were you thinking maybe you would do with it?
Well, even though I know it don't line up right and stuff, but my initial thought was to, you know, even though I wasn't in the law field, but I want to take the LSAT test, just give it a go, take the LSAT test, and maybe, you know what I'm saying, go out and try to be a lawyer and stuff. Right.
So you were setting the stage possibly for that.
Yes.
But so then you graduated with this degree in criminology, and something you shared with me is that you knew right away you weren't interested in going out and getting a job. Like what?
No, I wasn't interested in going out working for somebody telling me, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that, and then just putting limits, you know, putting limitations on your abilities when you know that you're so talented, you have so many things going for you and stuff, and just putting everything just in a small box, and closing the top instead of being. And if you are in a box, at least open the top so you know you can grow.
So you know, 9 to 5 was not going to be for you, and I said this to you before. I was like, man, like that's not normal thinking for a college graduate with a 4-year degree. I mean, the normal thinking is you going to get that job. So wow. I mean, I'm telling you, that's a big moment.
Oh yeah.
What was the first move? What was the first step after graduation?
Well, the first step was telling my dad, no, I'm not about to go get no 9 to 5.
He reacted the way I did.
Huh?
He was reacting the way I was just reacting, like, what? Did he understand? Did he understand it first? Or
he didn't understand, because even coming out of high school, he did the military. He asked me without joining the military, and I was like, no.
Yeah. So wait a minute, you're not going to join the military. You're not going to get a job. What are you doing?
No. So so me and my buddies and stuff, you know, we always like, hey, let's make some things happen and stuff. So we ride in the car one day, and we were like, and one of my best friends, he goes, you know what, we can do this on our own, because we was basically valeting at different accounts and stuff like that. He like, we can do this on our own. We can start our own and stuff. I'm like, man, let's go for it, you know.
So you were working valet part-time type stuff, right, in college, and after, and then all of a sudden,
that's how I was able to pay for my just pay for my cost of living and so forth, and because I had got to USF, and they say, no, I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, I need to make some money. I need to make some money. So actually, they had a job fair on campus, which was very helpful. USF had a job fair on campus and stuff. I filled out application after application after application and stuff, and actually it worked out. I'm talking about within a week. Actually, I had a job and stuff, and the thing was, my first start, I almost quit the first day and stuff, working for somebody else. I felt uncomfortable, and then reason I didn't quit, because I didn't make enough money to pay for my uniform.
Right.
I didn't make enough money to pay for my uniform, so actually I ended up sticking with it, man, and it actually ended up being good to me. You know, I was able to help my mom. I was able to give my mom money. I was paying my rent 3 months ahead of time.
Which job was this? Was this the valet job?
Yeah, valet when I was going to USF at the time.
Okay,
you know? Yeah. So actually, it had worked out pretty good. You
have no idea how many entrepreneur friends I have that started in the valet game. It's incredible to me. Some of them got discovered in the valet world, like that's part of your story coming up, I think. And some of them went to build businesses. Actually, you're both stories. You found a mentor that way, but you also built a company. But it's something about it. Like it's almost like to me, if I took a stab at it, it's like you gotta have a good personality, outgoing. You gotta hustle, and there's a lot of cash and money involved. Like it's like valet's got a lot a lot of things that an entrepreneur or a go-getter with a personality would really, I can see why it works.
And actually, to be honest with you, that helped me. That helped me throughout my whole. It helped me through my life skills, just being able to talk and stuff. Because growing up in a rough neighborhood, you kind of disassociate yourself with everybody. You don't speak to everybody, stuff like that, because you have a certain mentality. You got to look a certain way and stuff like that. So actually, so that's the reason why the first day I was there, I'm like, man, they want me to speak and smile to people and stuff like that. And and then I started doing it. I'm like, man, I kind of got out of, I kind of changed my mentality. You had to change your mentality. You had to be outspoken. You had to greet people. You had to, enjoy what you was doing and stuff. It's a lot to life. It's a lot to be thankful for. It's a lot to be happy about and stuff like that. Even though sometimes the situation don't look clear and stuff like that, but at the same time, you got plenty of things inside of you that you can smile and be happy about. So once I had dug inside and dug deep and found that, basically, like even like my wife, she goes, "Oh, he's a talker." I'm like, "No, I'm not."
So it was kind of always in you, but it just wasn't able to come out. But also, you probably had it in. I'm guessing you felt comfortable as a talker amongst your friends and stuff. But
Yes.
In the valet world, you're dealing with all these business people and people that probably intimidated you at first. I'm guessing
you might only meet one time. You might not never see them again and stuff like that. And then on top of that, it's either, like I say, when you got to put food on the table, man, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do and stuff. And at first it was like, okay, I had to grudge it and kind of force myself to do it. But then after that, it came natural. It just came natural, just speaking to people and stuff like that, and just being happy and just asking people how they're doing. Even still to this day, even though women call it flirting, when I ask somebody, "Hey, how you doing today?" and stuff like that, I look at it as, you can be changing somebody's life, or either, we get services all the time, but we never ask somebody how they're doing and stuff. They're always talking to us and stuff like that. But like just little things like that can change a person's day.
Right. That's how you and I met, man. You were so friendly that and somebody's friendly to me, I just start talking too. And next thing you know, you and I are talking, and I think cars were backing up behind us 2 or 3 deep. You and I was just like, what are you in? What are you doing? Like, how are you on this business and you boxing and what? And but I think you're right. It opens up so many doors. I got to tell you, like your background, just like you said, to be able to. It's interesting. You said how it was tough at first. You had to force it and begrudge it, but then you embraced it. I think that's really powerful right there. It's really powerful stuff. And so that everything seemed to turn there once you you were able to let your personality come through and wear it on your sleeve and all that good stuff. And do you feel like that's when things started opening up even more?
Yeah. Things started opening up even more and stuff. So then you got used to seeing people all the time. Certain people always come and they always want services a certain type of way. And I have a very good memory and stuff like that. So so I always try to use that to my advantage and stuff, and let people know that basically you're not just another person or just another vehicle or just another client and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you special to me.
Yeah.
And just being able to show that, and people are impressed by that and stuff like that. So it's like, just.
Yeah. You ask about their kids, you ask about their family,
Exactly.
like you remember their names and stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
a gift. Now, there was this one, client, so to speak, that you told me stood out, like somebody you met, entrepreneur, I guess, that invited you to a Bucs game or something.
Yes. So
kind of changed some things.
So what it was, we used to valet. Actually, we used to have the account to where basically where the Bucs stayed at and stuff. So you see a whole bunch of high end people coming there all the time and stuff. So I remember this guy. He always was going into another account and stuff. I always came there time to time too. And then he goes, "Hey, I would invite you to the Bucs game, but you're working." So I called his bluff. I'm like, I can get off right now. So man, he handed me a box seat to he had me a ticket to a box seat to the Bucs game, And I'm like, okay. So I go home, shower up, change clothes, rush there, get there and stuff. And the box seat, how you get in the game is a little different from the other ones. So I'm in the game enjoying myself, And
were you able to bring a friend, or was it just you solo?
no, it was just me by myself. It was just me by myself. And so
Wow.
he said he had one more ticket, so I guess somebody probably canceled out or something. So I was enjoying the game and everything. I walked back inside. I was like, you know what? I want to tell him thank you. Even though I told him thank you when he gave me a ticket, I just want to really thank him in person and stuff. So I go inside, I'm looking around. I can't find him. But next thing you know, he's standing up in the suite saying, "Hey, how you doing?" So next thing you know, I get ready to go upstairs where he at, and there's a person standing there and stuff. And then she goes, "Where's your ticket to come up here?" And then he goes, "He's with me." So I'm like, "Who's this guy?" He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Who's this guy?" So I went up there to thank him and stuff. So then, like I said, early that morning, I'm sweating outside, valeting, to sitting in the suite to where you can get all you can eat drinks and food and all this other stuff, And I'm like, wow. And then he asked me, like, "So what are you doing with yourself?" Because he's an entrepreneur. He has a construction company that does very well. He's like, "What are you doing with yourself?" And I was like, "Well, right now, this is I'm just doing that temporary, and I plan to open up a parking business and stuff, And he was like, "I got some ideas for you," because he said, "I got some ideas for you. You need to take down my number. We need to sit down and talk and stuff." And then basically from there, man, we sat down, talked, laid out a plan and stuff. And then,
Wow. Was there a follow-up? Was there like a follow-up meeting?
Oh yeah, it was a follow-up meeting, a couple phone calls, follow-up meeting.
Wow.
Down and basically discuss numbers and discuss like a plan and stuff. And yeah.
Wow. So this person basically, did you feel like all of a sudden this person just saw something in you, and and did it make you more energized to go after it? Because somebody saw that in you, believed in you.
Yes, definitely. Somebody saw he's seeing it in me, and basically it wasn't just like this thing that I'm just imagining and stuff like that. It was something that basically was already laid out and that was going to happen and stuff. But he was able to help me to proceed forward and make things happen faster. And then with his connections and stuff like that, with the organization, like as far as this organizing stuff and getting paperwork done and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from him. Yeah.
So what about this thing about using other people's money?
Okay. About using other
you told me, I think he talked to you about that too.
Definitely. Because he took me around like.
Now, wait a minute. Before we get into the whole he thing for a second, you told me that he had a daughter or something too, or sister.
Who?
This gentleman that was helping you, didn't he have a daughter or somebody else?
No, he didn't have any kids.
There was a woman. I thought there was a woman that he had that was also kind
of his sister. His sister.
Yeah. So she worked with you a lot too. Am I right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because basically she keep him organized and stuff like that. Because being a business owner with multiple businesses and stuff like that,
yeah. So a lot of that, like you said, paper and contract stuff, she was helping too. Now, this whole thing about using other people's money, what's that all about?
All right. So I was in a meeting and stuff, and then he's took us around a lot of his friends and stuff. So I'm in the meeting and stuff. And actually we met up with him. We were talking about doing some more business ventures and stuff like that. And he goes, "Look, we're gonna go get money." I said, "From where?" He was like, "We're gonna go over here and get the money." And I'm like, "He gonna give us some money?" He's like, "Look, I'm telling you right now, people do not use their own money. They use other people's money to invest and stuff, So we actually went there. He started up the conversation, and I'm sitting here like I sit there and take notes and stuff, because like people who wise and people who've already been around and stuff like that, you can still learn a lot from. I'm never at a point to where I feel like I can't learn and stuff, So basically, I went and I'm taking notes. I'm hearing these guys talking about how they're using other people's money to make investments and stuff like that. I'm like, man, this is smart. Like, and that's something I never knew until that day I was sitting in the office and stuff, Cause I always thought that you had to work for it, and then basically
use your own money,
go get it and stuff. But sometimes all it takes is basically you formulating a plan and doing your research and having all your stuff laid out and stuff and presenting to somebody at times and stuff, And
the only intangible there is they have to kind of usually know you and trust you already, a little bit of relationship, and then that opens the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. So that just blew your mind when you saw that.
Oh yeah. Oh, that blew my mind and stuff, man. I was like, yeah. I like this idea. You know, this money is making investment
Yeah.
stuff, you know, and at the
And
time,
so, and you know, that's kind of what we do when we do like home improvements sometimes on homes and stuff. You know, if we take out a loan on a home or something, we're using the bank's money, and that's other people's money and things like that, right?
exactly, and basically that's what I did for my house and stuff. You know, I got a 12-month 0 interest credit card and stuff. Put all my materials on there and stuff, and money gonna be back, and I'm gonna pay them off.
And that's how you renovated. That's how you renovated the house, right?
Yeah, how I renovated my house
You
and stuff.
used other people's money to do that, and then you're gonna turn around and make it all back.
Make it all back, pay them back and stuff, and after that, I just got residual income coming in for the rest of my life and stuff. You know, and like
So that's pretty cool story right there. So you know, this, you know, kind of like you know, as I was scanning your story, you know, from there, you this whole Super Shuttle experience. So we all know what those were. By the way, they just closed down a couple months ago, I think, right?
Yes.
And
it was bought out.
They were bought out or something, and they were the shuttle bus that would take people from the airport home or from the home to airport, right? And
right.
you bought a franchise.
Yeah. I had franchise in because I had a buddy of mine. He was an entrepreneur as well. He had a contract with I think like Office Depot or something and stuff, and he was telling me about it. So I'm the type of person, if a friend need help and I can help them and stuff, I will and stuff. So I was able to start helping him, and I was like, you know what, I can get my own, you know, because I was just helping him for the time being. So then I ended up franchising one myself, and then it was pretty good. It was pretty good and stuff, you know. So
Profitable.
Oh yeah, it was profitable. Definitely, it was profitable and stuff because you get a lot of tips and so forth, and then you know you can bring a lot of revenue this throughout a week and stuff. You'll be, a lot of people will be amazed how much money just one van can generate and stuff like that. You know, as far as just doing that business. So what I did was I started putting myself in position financially so I can make some power moves.
Right, and so you did that, and tell me why you exited out of that one, out of the Super Shuttle.
Yeah, because I exited out of there because I was transitioning into the financial sector because, like I say, my whole goal was what we spoke about earlier: the physical, the mental, and then the financial health and stuff. You know, of well-being and stuff.
So you kind of running around, like it seems like at some point all this valet parking and shuttle stuff you did for, I think I wrote down like 10 years or more. You were making money, but at some point it seems like you started thinking, you know, I'm not going to get to the next level just running around making, parking and driving, all this good stuff. And at one point you were in a delivery. I like this point we talked. You were with a delivery company. That's just a side story. And you said, man, that you never saw daylight in your own home, right?
Saw daylight in my own home. Yeah. So what happened was another guy who I went to college with, me and him was took a couple classes together.
We're going back in time now a little bit, right?
Early back on. A little bit, yeah. So we had the same major and stuff. So he showed me a pay stub, like, look, man, I made those 6 figures last year. I'm sitting here like, you did what? He's like, yeah, I made those 6 figures last year and stuff, you know. And I'm like, I'm on it. So I got in the game and stuff, and then I didn't know like all the deductibles that was being taken out. That was being taken out of the 6 figures that he had showed me and stuff, you know. So at that time, I had just finished at USF and stuff, and then it's like I'm waking up before the sun come up. I mean, I'm leaving my house before the sun come up, and I'm coming back home after the sun went down and stuff, and I don't have no kids. And I'm like, and then it's kind of manual labor because like sometimes, man, you might be carrying like a $3,000 refrigerator up 3 flights of stairs, and then you can't put no dents in it or anything. Like, look, man, it's too much. That's where you go from the liabilities to the assets. There's too much liability and not enough assets in that. So I exited out. Yeah.
So you went through this period where you did a lot of this physical hustle stuff that you had to do, and then you kind of found a way to go, like you said, level up, and the personal training is obviously, one of those, not you have to put your clients through physical pain, but you don't have to yourself, right? and they're paying you because your knowledge and you know, and that's, you're paying for your mind, not your brawn, right?
Yes.
And then you open up this kind of credit repair business to help people, especially for business credit help people build up their business credit, and you help people get their credit score to a point where they can do things as a business owner and separate their personal kind of credit life from their business credit life. Talk about that, because that's where you're at, what you're doing right now, a lot of.
Yes, definitely. I like working from home now.
Yeah, right. Don't get out of shape on me now.
No, I won't. No, I still ran. I ran 4 miles a day, man. It was 105 outside.
Yeah.
I had to sit down on the curb after I got done. But yeah, so I had transitioned from the financial sector, because anything I do, I want to make sure that basically I actually know what I'm doing and not just giving somebody something that's out of thin air. Personal credit is what we do, what we use our social security number for, and business credit is what we use our EIN number for and stuff. And a lot of times when we go out and do things, like if we want to start a business and stuff, we actually use majority of people use their personal credit cards instead of, taking advantage of the situation and trying to build up business credit so it can come back on their business and not on their personal. So you won't put a financial hardship on your family. It can just fall back on the
worst
business.
case, if something doesn't go well.
Yeah, exactly. And majority of businesses, don't go well and stuff,
Yeah.
and that's part of understanding, and part of it's just part of life and stuff,
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can kind of put yourself in position to where you can put it on the business and not on you. If you're in a rush and you first starting off and stuff, you can use yourself as a personal guarantor and try and go out and get some basic zero interest for 12 months credit cards and stuff. But at the same time, while you're doing that, you can be building up your business credit so everything can fall back on your EIN number and stuff like that. And the reason why you want that, because you want your business to be, you know what I'm saying? You want your business to be responsible and try to be able to take care of itself. So just in case if you get to a point to where you're like, I want to get out of this business and stuff,
Right.
It sells for even more because you sat there and built. It's established.
If people right, and this is what people who build wealth know that most people just don't know, and it doesn't get talked about enough, right? Is ownership, business ownership, and separating ownership from personal. And by the way, people who have high-paying jobs even don't even understand this concept, right? If you say you make $200,000-$300,000 job, like doctors, you great big paycheck. Those people don't typically own companies. They pay a ton of taxes per se, and they also don't understand how to keep that separation. So it's kind of how true wealth is created, isn't it? With this business ownership entity.
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely is. Just like I've been learning about, any kind of vehicles or even like people properties and stuff. They put them up under corporation names instead of just having them in their own name and stuff. A lot of times we always want to have our name on stuff and take ownership of it and stuff. But once we try to get to another level, we start using our corporations and stuff. Start putting that and put it up on our corporation names, so our corporation can be more valuable and stuff.
Yeah. No, we I was asking you about that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you said you listened to it on audio, and when I talk to you, I feel like that you kind of living your life by that playbook that's in that book.
When I first heard it, I was amazed, and I was like, man, why didn't nobody tell me about this and stuff? Like, it's like some things in life you're like, man, I wish I would have been heard this and stuff, even like just investing into the stock market and stuff. I've been using certain products since like 2005 and stuff. I'm looking at, and I go back and I look at the stock, how much it was then and how much it is now.
Yeah.
Like, man, so it's like things like that, like I say, Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's a great book, and that's a great it's a great help to help your mentality and actually try to put you in a financially healthy situation and stuff.
It talks a lot about that, corporate setup and separation. It talks about other people's money. It talks about so much of that stuff that you do. Just a couple more topics before we get to the end here. Instagram. So I was kind of asking you, like, I said, Rod, where'd you learn all this stuff and, you know, all this personal finance and financial freedom stuff and all these business entities you're doing? And in about every year or two, you come up with you got a new one cooking, you know, that you're doing. And you were like, I follow a lot on Instagram.
Oh yeah, definitely. How I got in financial sector and stuff was through Instagram and stuff. You know, there's this guy on there, you know, who was giving out information and stuff, and he was like, look, he was showing you how to make money off you having good credit and stuff. And I was like, of course I'm interested, you know, because I got good credit. You know, once I franchise the business and I started, you know, making moves and, you know, like I said, it was profitable. So I started putting myself in a good credit situation and stuff. And after that, you know, I'm like, I can make money off my credit. Okay, so it was a attention grabber. But then from there, basically, he started showing not only showing how to make money off the credit, but other different lucrative businesses that you can run. So he was having a conference, so I flew out to his conference, came back home and stuff. And then after that, basically, I actually joined his mentorship. I had joined his mentorship, which wasn't cheap. But at the same time, I felt like it was going to be worth it. It was a lot of value. From the conference that I had, I was willing to, you know, make the investment into myself and with him in order to basically join. And still to this day, I still make money off the private group that I'm in. That basically he had for the mentorship and stuff. You know, so
Wow,
that's like,
cool. That's cool. You found him on Instagram.
Yeah, found him on Instagram. And stuff. You know, back then I think he probably had like 11,000 followers. Now he's probably up to like 50,000 or something like that. Because like I said, he give a lot of value and stuff. And like I say, I was willing to invest once I went to his conference. I'm seeing all his information, and I'm like, hey man, let's go for it. But
people are gonna have to hit me up in the YouTube comments when I post this to get who this is. We won't say right now, but they're gonna have to hit me up in the YouTube comments, and we'll get it done. We'll get it to them. So I would guess you probably follow a whole bunch. You probably just open the doors. I bet you follow probably a lot of these type of people on Instagram now.
Yeah. I be honest with you, I don't pay attention to all the rah on social media. I'm
more looking for business.
Social media for business and stuff, not just like posting for my business, but far as just gaining helping get more knowledge and helping to you know, some great ideas and stuff, and just to help them to build, just helping to build and just get your name out there too.
So for you, Instagram is kind of like just an infinite well of knowledge that just, if you can find the right sources and people and flows, you can just feed yourself with really good knowledge, right?
Well, yeah, that, and then businesses too, because sometimes you got people coming together, and you got some groups and saying stuff. People come together in groups saying, "Hey, man, let's start making some stuff happen and stuff." You know, because everybody's not meant to, or it's not for everybody to actually do it solo. Sometimes somebody just need, like, you know, I heard was like 3 partners is kind of like, it's good because it kind of have that balance in there and stuff. You actually have that one person in the middle who, you know, can go on.
You got a tiebreaker in there too.
Exactly. You got to, yeah, exactly. So like I say, like social media open up doors. It open up doors and stuff. You know, it just depends on how you use it.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think that's a big message here. People, I don't think a lot of young people realize, or at any age maybe, just how much good flow of information is out there. If you just, like you said, steer clear of all the all the eye candy and stuff. You know, that's great, fun stuff. But there's a tremendous amount of business leaders and information that are just pumping out content that will change your whole worldview, right? If you can just find them and focus on it, right?
Yes. And on one of his latest things, he say is like, entrepreneurship is not just is not a luxury. It's a life. He said it's a necessity now.
Yeah,
entrepreneurship is a necessity now, especially right now.
Yeah. Job security there's no such thing as job security anymore. Exactly. And there never really was, but there definitely, we now know for sure that it's not real.
Exactly.
right? And so by being an entrepreneur, it's on some level, you're kind of looking after yourself, aren't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. You're looking after yourself, and like I say, when you look at your family and stuff, they're looking back at you like, hey, what are we gonna do? so
Yeah.
so it's like from there, man, you gotta go get it. You gotta go
Yeah,
get
you
it.
don't want to be your answer shouldn't be, well, I hope I don't get fired or laid off. That because you're not in control. That's not you in control. Say, hey, so Rod, I want to wrap up. This has been an awesome conversation, and I'm a lot of people are going to watch this and get a lot of knowledge, but a lot of folks are going to be inspired. There's going to be a lot of young people who are going to watch this and be inspired because just by where you are in life and how much you kind of pulled together yourself. You're still young and you're taking care of body, mind, and spirit and finances.
Yes.
There's a revolution in this country around personal finance and
Yes.
around with Instagram. It's just really cool to talk to you about it. But I want to end on one of my favorite topics, which is the sweet science of boxing. And I know you're semi-retired. You might come back, I don't know, out of retirement, especially since you went out, you finished 1-0, and apparently you spent so much time sparring and training,
Yes.
and then helping other boxers get ready. And then soon enough, nobody wanted to spar with you. And talk about first of all, talk about how much you enjoyed it. Number one. Number two, the kind of the business side of it that people don't see that you had to deal with.
All right. What was the first question again?
How much you enjoyed it?
Man, I enjoy it. I enjoy every bit of it. It's very repetitive. It's very repetitive. It might be the same thing over and over and stuff, but it's like being a kid in a candy store, man. Just getting in there and just letting it all out.
Did you feel like well, let me ask you a couple questions on boxing because I don't get to talk to a real professional boxer very often. There's a lot of energy release and a lot of probably stress release. You got to feel great at the end of it, even though you might have gotten beat up a little bit. You've got to feel pretty good. Physically, it's got to feel good, but also there's a lot of technicality to it, right?
Yeah.
Which did you enjoy more, the physicality or the technicality of boxing?
The technicality. I'm gonna say that I love physical because I played linebacker, strong safety. I like being physical and stuff, but the technicality of it and stuff like that. Because it's a science. It's a science. It's just not no. You're just gonna go and punch somebody, one person, and that's it. It's just being able to set it up and then just being able to execute and all the things that basically you've been working on, just seeing it happen right in front of you. Sometimes, man, you just want to sit there and just stop fighting and say yes and stuff like that, but you can't because the other guy's still standing in front of you.
He's still there.
Like
when you say setups, like people don't realize in boxing really that they look like they're just kind of punching and so forth, but every punch you're throwing is trying to set up something, not just the next punch, but maybe something even further in the fight. Like use a lot of things going on there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because when you want to hit somebody in the body, which basically I've been in the ring to where basically everybody think head, but once you hit somebody in the body, man, I don't see some people hold their hands down to protect their body and say you can hit me in my head, just don't hit me in my body again. But at the same time, you gotta set it up. You gotta keep on throwing the jab, thinking, keep people thinking that you're head hunting and stuff like that. And then just that little slight move, boom, hit right there in the body, man. And once you get hit in the body, I mean, it's like all your energy goes. all your energy goes and stuff. So that's the reason why sometimes in boxing you'll see somebody hurt and stuff, and you'll see people try to go for the head, but then you see some guys go right down there for that body and stuff because they know once you break that body down, basically the head's gonna come down too.
So why did people get tired of fight? Why did people get tired of sparring with you? Why did people what was your thing?
Because like when I sparred like I fight. I didn't use sparring as a session to as a session to just go around and play around and just throw a couple punches and stuff like that. My trainer always taught me. And same thing that I kind of learned too is like you need to train how you're gonna perform and stuff, because you can't expect to turn it up when you want to. Even in high school playing football, I had a kid on my team. I never understood it then. Like, why he always going full speed? He going full speed every time. He needs to slow down. He's the only one going full speed. But at the same time, how do you expect him to turn it up during the game if he never practiced?
Yeah. So you didn't have that. You didn't have that half speed thing.
No, I didn't have the half speed. I didn't have that. We just gonna throw punches and look like we active going on, like look like we active and stuff going on and stuff like that. And
didn't work for you.
Probably just go half effort. I'm going 100% during sparring and stuff.
That's not your personality, which is probably helped you in business too.
Oh yeah, definitely. With business, man, you got to go out there. You have to go out there and get it done. Because you can't be afraid.
Yeah. All right, and so Rod, it's been awesome, man. And what a cool life you're living right now at your age, and all the cool things you're doing and things you've done. Hell, you've been to California and back, and a lot of people hadn't even pulled that off. I mean, you list off all the things that you've done, and you're just getting started. So I really appreciate you coming on and letting me interview you for this podcast.
And thank you for having me, and I appreciate it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is great. All right, well, I'm going to sign off, and I look forward to hanging out with you again soon.
All right, see you soon.
All right, take care, Rod. Be good. Okay.
All right. Bye.